What is up, everybody? Happy Sunday to you. And if you have kids and you're in Michigan, that means that tomorrow we're all back to the old routine. That's right, the kids are back in school for the new year. And if you're also in Michigan, you would have noticed that it was beginning to look a lot like Michigan yesterday with the snow, and then today it all disappeared. So I don't know. I'm one of those people. I don't believe that the global warming hype is as organic as people try to claim it is. I definitely think there's some human factors that need to be improved on to just overall help the environment. I am not one of those people that believe that we should abuse the earth that we live on, and that we all can do our part to make sure that this earth is functional and that we are not doing things that cause, stress upon the earth. But, people could say it's a conspiracy theory, but I do believe that there's a number of different weather manipulation programs across the globe creating narratives, because this is what these people do. They create problems and then try to come in and be the savior to these problems, all the while convincing people to relinquish their rights under their control. So that is the world that we live in. But I wanted to jump on because if you follow me on Twitter, AngieC313, and also subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, I provide a very middle-of-the-road objective perspective on certain social conversations, political conversations when I feel like it. And just a host of different ideas, spiritual, more. I like to infuse all of those just so people can kind of have an understanding of what's happening around them. But, excuse me. But off that, I was on Twitter and I caught this little spat between the rapper, excuse me, the rapper Asian the Brat or AsianDoll, and Myron Gaines from the Fresh and Fit podcast, which is the beta male podcast of beta men trying to teach men how to get women and money and have some level of value and relevance because they lack the 5 social values, societal value. And I talked about these before. Beauty is a societal value. And these men hate that women can get almost anything they want just because they're beautiful. So these guys don't have that luxury, right? So if you're not this social idea of beautiful, then you have to be super duper smart, right? These guys are surface level smart, mediocre, if anything, and they just try to come off as if they're more intelligent than what they really are. When you listen to their arguments, they're full of fallacies. And the only people that believe those arguments are emotionally irrational beta men who are very insecure, and they're not ever going to have a valuation without money. And even if they have a rock hard, nice body, they're still goofy as hell, and women don't take them seriously, and they're frustrated by that. And that's why they dog women like they do. So if you don't have beauty, if you're not super duper intelligent, I'm talking about high IQ, intellectual intelligent, then you have to have, ingenuity. You have to be able to create things. Anybody can create a podcast. You look at some of the most unintelligent people and some very intelligent people in the podcasting space, and you can see that anybody can turn on a camera like I'm doing, a janky camera phone like I have, and just start talking about what matters to them and what their perspectives are, right? And you can build a following if people resonate with what you're saying. And that is just to say that beta people are very targetable because they're very emotional people. And so when they hear anybody talking, to their plights and their emotions, then obviously they're all in. They're all in. You are a champion for me, right? So Myron Gaines, right? These guys specialize in bringing women that they believe are inferior to them on their podcast to argue with them about who they are and what they choose to do as a life choice. Because mind you, they are jealous of the fact that these women can actually make money just being beautiful. So That is what they do. And real men don't go back and forth with women. Real men do not sit there arguing with women for clicks. They just don't. Denzel Washington would never. Clint Eastwood would never, because they are real men. They are real men. They're not beta men, right? Like this Fresh and Fit podcast. And most of the red pill space, these are beta men. They believe that money makes them valuable. But if you can't create something, I'm talking engineering, right? That's ingenuity. If you can't create something, engineering, medical science breakthrough, those types of things, that's ingenuity. If you don't have that value, right, then you have to have agility, right? Agility is what your sports people have, right? These people can, you look at your Tiger Woods, your Aaron Rodgers. That man is so fine to me. But you look at all these guys, right? They have, they have agility. They can play a sport. People will pay to come and see them play that sport that they have learned to be good at, right? Those guys don't fit that narrative, right? So now you're down to dynamic character, dynamic personality, right? Which is really a piggyback off of your intellectual. That's where you get your comics, right? Comics, people who are funny, people who have a sense of humor, people who understand emotional control when it comes to laughter. And, even though comic people are highly beta, comedians are highly beta type people, they understand how to channel their emotions to make lighter of a situation so that they are not so devastatingly beta where they're irrational all over the place. Some of them are, but for the most part, comedy is a way for them to channel. And it's through that dynamic character that they can gain an audience. People like them. They like what they say, how they articulate, how they make fun of themselves or society. And that's why comics are so important in society. The guys on Fresh and Fit lack all of those things. Myron is average at best. His friend is the same way, average or below, right? These are guys that you can look at them and you can say, they're not terrible looking, even though there are obviously physical flaws about them too, even though they like to throw shade on these women. You got a lot of character flaws, right? So Asian the Brat went in on Myron's character flaw, his hairline. Apparently, it's gotten better for Myron because it looked like he got it fixed. But everybody has seen the journey of Myron's hairline, and that's not to be mean. But when you are talking about a very mean-spirited people who make a living roasting women, you don't really care about somebody calling out their own flaws, and I don't. So I say that to say that these men have made their money, just like Andrew Tate, convincing other beta men, because Andrew Tate is a beta man too. He just learned how to somewhat alpha up in some regards, but even still, any man that talk about how much money he got, I got this, I got cars, I got girls, I got this, you're a beta male. You're a beta male that has money. And that money makes you feel powerful. But at the core of who you are a beta male who is masking over insecurities or whatever you've had to deal with as at growing up. You have somehow learned how to mask over those things and turn yourself into the man that you feel like women will want. And you're pulling one of these dynamic characters and you're faking the funk until you make it. A lot of these dudes are faking it until they make it. But I say that to say, I recently saw a last post, and honestly, I don't really follow Asian the Brat like that. I've seen her. I've kind of known her just because of the King Von thing. But I don't just follow what this girl do. Like, she got on my radar recently because Myron from Fresh and Fit was going back and forth with this woman on the internet, right? And to me, it's like beta male alert. Because why in the world would a real man go back and forth with a woman that he believes is beneath him, right? But there you got Myron doing that, right? Making himself and his podcast look like beta fools, right? So Asian basically ethered him. He pulled up some old like tweet from AsianDoll talking about dark skinned women and brown skinned women and all this stuff. And I guess that was like a way to get like the women to be upset with her. Like, look, she's talking about you guys. She doesn't respect you. And obviously all the beta men, they're like, my mom is dark skinned and my feelings. And I'm like, so why are you internalizing every single thing that somebody says about, on the internet to yourself or somebody that you know? That's the problem with people on the internet, is they'll read something, a position or opinion or somebody talking in candor, and they just internalize because that's how insecure they are, right? And I talked about the Fresh and Fit podcast a couple of weeks ago, maybe it's about a month ago, because he was going in on this girl about religion and faith and promiscuity. And the guy is just, to me, ridiculous in every sense of the word. And it's like, if you're a man following that, you're ridiculous too, because real men don't go back and forth with women, especially women that are not their own. Like, you guys are mad beta. You are the male chauvinists that created the feminists. You guys created your type of guy. You're not alpha men, because real alpha men have control. They have control. And that was the point on, I think, right now with that post that Myron, and I keep getting notifications about this post, because he's literally going stalking AsianDoll's page just to find something to insult her with. I'm like, you're supposed to be a high value man, right? What high value man has time to do things like that? Stalk a rapper's page so that you can find punchlines. So I think he got about like 3.6 or 3 points. Yeah, I think he got about 3,600 likes on his post, and I'm at 3,100. So it's almost a ratio, because I'm like, you got time to stalk her page for punchlines? Like, this is what you beta men do, because you have female-like emotions and you got time to argue with females because you are inside a female. Likely your mom was the dominant influence in your life. So you have, and I hate to say this and not to be super disrespectful, but you have bitch-like emotions. And so you are the last person to be teaching anybody about being a man. Hell, some of these feminized women are in a better position to teach some of these men how to be men than you, Myron. And that's all I got to say about that. Staying on AsianDoll for a second, you guys know I'm from Detroit, and I love and I support my Detroit artists. Y'all know I love I love hip hop in general. I follow the female rap game. I got to talk about, Kash Doll got to come to the front of the congregation, as Ashley from Tash America would say. You literally bit off of AsianDoll's drop. I don't know how that happened. Maybe y'all working with the same beat maker, or somebody wrote y'all the same song. It's like, let me see which one of y'all can spit it the best. But Asian dropped a song about a month ago, and Kash Doll dropped about a day or so ago a song called Power. And I listened to Power, and I didn't even correlate it to AsianDoll because I really don't follow her like that. So it's easier, and I just want to, this is one of the fans compilation of these two side by side, these two records that both of these things are. Y'all let me know.
I hit it on payroll to step.
That's Kash.
So I made him my pet. Bottle no bitches, you niggas is dead. Dogging these niggas, I throw it, he catch me. And he love me, but we never bet. Ran through his pockets and put him in debt. Flex, all of my business, what put you in debt? If you speak on my debt like Pilates, he stretch. And your man is a fan with no bag.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it there because I don't want to get struck. But what I think is very peculiar is that it's like, okay, if you're working with the same beat, cool, but the same flow, it's like, come on, Kash Doll, that's just not cool. My sister and I, we were talking about that. Like, we love Kash Doll. We thought, we feel like she's an original artist. But you see that, and you see artists kind of using the same beats and they put their rendition on it. But I don't know. It's just, there's no originality in the game. Like, Nicki Minaj is pretty original. and she's sampled, like she has definitely solidified herself in the sampling game for real. Pink Friday 2 is just a really good album, and I can't wait to see what she does with Roman Reloaded or in Malibu, Roman in Malibu. But come on, Cash Doll. And this irks me because I'm a smaller content creator and my content is always being suppressed across platforms. And then I'll see like some bigger content creator basically stalking my stuff so that they'll have talking points for their own. The smaller, real organic creators are always being muffled for these larger creators on the internet. And that's where censorship and all of that algorithm suppression, you can pay these platforms to, elevate and boost. I mean, it's just, you can't trust your analytics anymore. And you can't trust a lot of these mainstream artists too, because they really are just leeching off of smaller content creators and artists. And that irks my soul because it's been happening to me a lot. And so I'm going to have to just give Kash Doll a complete fail on that. It's dumb to me. It's really dumb to me. And I feel like if you're an original artist, you should be able to make anything your own, change it up, switch it up in some kind of way. But same beat, same flow. And then even down to the lyrical content, it's like almost like you listen to the Asian's track and then you're like, I'm just going to reword this stuff, but here you go. And that's just not cool. It is not cool. Smaller content creators, it is it's getting much harder for us to even just get our traction on our stuff because we constantly are being leached on by some of these larger content creators. And I've caught some people who have leached on my content in the past. But this is real and it irks me because I'm a real artist. I'm a real creator. I'm a real organic thinker. Most of the things, even if it's already out there or whatever, I am literally concluding myself before I even spit it. And then I'll go and like, somebody is talking on the same point. But I'm not out there leeching on to everybody's content to see, where can I get their talking points? And no, because there's always going to be something that I can make my own. And that's how you differentiate real content creators. They can take anything and they can adjust it, make it their own, and it sounds more profound or better, so that's that, and I'm looking, and Cat Williams, to that point, he has talked about comedians taking his stuff. You know what I mean? Nicki Minaj is on the mic talking about her flow being taken, by a certain kitty cat. So, the industry, the people, these creative teams, they're not creative. They are biters. They are content leeches. Because number one, when an artist can't write because they're not really even about their lyrics. Nothing about their life is resonating to their lyrics, like Cardi B. The reason why I don't like Cardi B is because everything about her seems fake and manipulated. Maybe, aside from her ignorance, like, and her personality and character outside of music. That seems pretty somewhat organic, but even still, she kind of steals from, this personification of Black women to me because she's not Black. But anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful work week. I think 2024 is going to be a very interesting year. I think we're going to see a lot of revelations. The media has done everything they can to suppress that Epstein, revelation. I think people are just over it because we realize we're not going to get what we want. There's no need for Epstein to even be trending if we are just dealing with some court documents and some names that we already knew and that were released back in the day. That's why Prince Andrew, had his issues when the Queen died in terms of how is he going to be, positioned and what is he going to wear, because he was caught up in that Epstein stuff. We already knew that. So these names, the Clintons, they seem like pedophile. There's nothing about Bill and Hillary Clinton that doesn't scream pedophile to me. Not saying that they are. I'm using very selective language here for those who have very low comprehension. Seem It's not a definitive word, so I'm not saying that they are. I am just saying that to me, everything about those two people, particularly, doesn't seem like they're not involved with occultist type freaky weird stuff. So there's that. So, anyways, what else is trending on Twitter before I get going? Oprah, I don't care about her. Oprah gets on my nerve. She really does. I mean, my mom raised us to kind of look at Oprah as kind of this beacon of woman to want to be like. And I do respect any woman who can build a legacy for herself, but it's how you build that legacy matters. And just the more I've learned about Oprah over the years, I'm not a fan of Oprah. I don't really care for Oprah. Anyways, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Have a wonderful, wonderful work week, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye. Oh, and if you like this content, like and subscribe. Bye.